Have you ever thought about a seed? Good seeds are little things that, if planted at the right time, the right place, and are tended to, become huge blessings down the road. Whatever seeds you're sowing today, seeds for your future, for your family, for your faith, or for actual food, you're at the right place. Welcome to the Sowing Seed Podcast. Now from the studio, 20 yards from the chicken coop, and that's for reals, y'all. Here's your host, Matt Miller.
Chicken Reboot. On a previous episode, I talked about our most recent chicken fail and how totally sick to my stomach I was after 6 weeks of effort and expense to have 21 birds all killed off in one night because of predators at our place. But there's still time, with the weather being fairly nice here in Central Texas for quite a while yet, to raise some birds. And, you know, we had gotten to where for years we would have our own chicken, our own pork, and some family of ours who raise cattle, our own beef in the freezer almost exclusively. In fact, the first 5 years or so out here on EIEIO, we didn't buy anything but lunch meat as far as meat is concerned. Everything that was frozen, we either raised or we had family that raised, which was really, really cool. We don't eat as much pork today just because it's not quite as good for you. We have some beef that we eat on occasion, but we haven't had any chicken for a while just because there's a lot of work that goes into raising broilers or meat birds. And then, of course, the harvesting them or the butchering them at the end of their 7 to 8 week life is just, you know, a lot of work. And especially with just 3 of us in the house these days, haven't really wanted to go down that path. But we're wanting to eat healthier. We're wanting to eat more chicken and turkey. And so I figured, what the heck, let's go ahead and raise some meat birds. Let's get back up from our failure with the layers that we had several weeks before. And since there aren't any layers available through McMurray Hatchery, where we normally get our birds through the end of the year, figured we'd get some broilers, raise them up, and before Christmas, send them off to freezer camp before it starts to get really cold around here, and have our own fresh meat to eat for the next, 6 months or so. So I ordered 20 broilers, Cornish cross broilers from McMurray, and they just came in this morning. Now, to give you guys an idea, Cornish cross are bred. Oftentimes you'll hear them called Frankenbirds even, because they put on weight at a ridiculous pace. In fact, at the 8-week point in the past, we've had birds weigh, close to 8 pounds. So a pound a week is what, some of them will put on in weight in the short 2-month life that they have. So anyway, we got the broilers in today. Every single one of them was in good shape and appears to be healthy. We got them put under heat lamps immediately, got them their food, got them their water. We're taking a little bit of a risk because it is starting to get a little cooler here, especially in the evenings, and we keep them in one of our garages. But I've got them under 2 heat lamps right now. The next couple of weeks are the most important because until they grow feathers, they're susceptible to cold. So I've checked on them several times today. They all appear to be doing great. Of course, they've been worn out because of the couple days worth of travel via the U.S. Post Office. But excited about starting new, excited about learning from the mistake that we made with the layers that led to them dying. And to adjust and make sure that that doesn't happen with these birds, so that we've got as many as possible that we can harvest in mid-December, and like I said, be able to add them to the freezer for the family consumption. You know, I didn't understand how to do any of this several years ago. And just like I taught myself vending, just like I've taught myself a lot of things over the years, I've done the same thing with raising animals here on the farm. I read a ton. I listen to podcasts that can help me in that regard. And then one of the traits that I've been blessed with, that I'm going to encourage you, if you don't have this trait or struggle with it, to do all you can to strengthen it, is the ability to jump off and try without having all the answers. We had no idea how to butcher chickens when we got to the point that we had to the first time, but we purchased, the knives that we needed, and we purchased, I went out on a limb and purchased a pretty expensive plucker to pluck their feathers. We had a whole bunch of the family come together to help, and we figured it out. And we're not experts by any means, but we filled our freezer several years back that very first time, and have done it a couple of times since, and are grateful for the experience, grateful to learn that process, and to know that if we ever need to, want to, we can do it again and again and again, and provide for ourselves in that way. So if you've ever thought about raising chickens, if you're on a place where you can, I would encourage you to do so. It is an amazing experience, especially if you got kids in the house. What better way to teach them responsibility and to teach them the way of the world, to teach them where some of their food comes from, and to show them that entire process. It has been a huge, huge thing for our kids, 2 of which are off to college now. The youngest is still at home for the next year and a half or so, but it's been a blessing. And all of us learning some of these important life skills, learning how to become more self-sufficient and how to live more sustainably, have been really, really valuable to all of us. And whether our kids choose in the future to raise chickens or to have their own garden or whatever, they at least know the basics and would have confidence to be able to do it on their own as well, and to provide for their family, just like we've worked really hard to do here. So we will keep you posted on all things broiler, the chicken reboot, here in the next couple of months. And it's my prayer that we end up having a great harvest here before Christmas of 2017.
Thank you for listening to the Sowing Seed Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a 5-star review in iTunes or your podcast player of choice. So until next time, go plant the seed you need to succeed.